Amazing. So good evening, everyone. How has your week been? How's your weekend been? Let us know in the comments. I think I said this on a call the other day. I always feel a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit run down after month end. So that's definitely how I'm feeling. We've had this massive excitement, with all these incentives launched. We've been going 100 miles an hour. So if you, like me, have been feeling maybe a little bit burnt out, I definitely know there was a few people in the team who were. Don't worry about it too much. It is common. It is across the board. We had such a huge push and such huge momentum. It definitely takes a few days to recover. But it's time to get refocused, get refreshed, tackle the new month and chapter 2 of 12. Hopefully now we've sort of got over that month end, hype madness. We've had a little bit of, hope you've all done some relaxing this weekend. And then we've got Monday tomorrow. Let's go. So tomorrow, I know it's a little bit sort of like last minute, starting a 90-day game plan. I know you covered it a bit on the call on Friday, but he's got a WhatsApp group as well, just for anyone who's not in there yet. You can get yourself added in. I'm sure you'll just sort of be doing updates and motivation every day. So if you're not in there yet, get yourself added in. 90-day game plans are shown to be hugely effective. Embarrassingly, in my almost 7 years with Juice Plus, I would probably say, if I was deadly honest, hand on my heart, I've only ever completed one 90-day game plan. And I mean, Claire's saying the same thing, yeah. And I mean all out, 100% for 90 days.
Can I just quickly jump in really quickly, because I'll forget to say this.
Go on.
In that 90 days, my pay line grew by £50,000. So how mad
you nearly made me spat out my tea.
I know, right? Absolutely bananas.
Who fancies a 50 grand pay line in the next 90 days? All right, well, if we needed any more inspiration, that was it, right? So you've made mine sound really rubbish now. I was going to say I went from SC to SSC in 90 days. Not quite 50 grand, but it wasn't accomplished. Anyway, no, I'm joking. Anyway, the point being, 90-day game plans work, they are effective, and you will see incredible results. And really what it's about is just killing the distractions and remaining committed and focused for 90 days, and the results will show and they will follow. 50k, let's go. Yeah, everyone's up for that. You got everyone hyped with like 50k there, Claire. Now please do not make the mistake of thinking that this means that you need to do 10 hours a day every day for 90 days. That's where we go wrong. That is when you don't stick to it. It's when you say, I am doing these 30 things every day for 90 days. It's not achievable. You will get a week in, you'll be burnt out. It's the complete opposite. It's about not burning yourself out, but it is about being consistent. You might have only 1 hour a day that you can commit to your business, which is absolutely fine. But in that 1 hour, actually do the things that you said that you're going to do to work on your business. Like when I first got started with Juice Plus, I literally used to do 2 hours a day. Obviously, I used to do some other little bits in between, but I'd do an hour during the day completing my DMO. And then I'd do an hour in the evening, literally sitting up on the sofa with my family, following my likes and sending out messages. That is how I built and grew my business. And that's really what we're focusing right now, is going back to basics, back to what we were doing when we first started and when business was booming. And really, I've been saying it a lot lately, but I feel like we've really been distracted with all this lovely fancy stuff, TikToks, Reels, Shorts, YouTube, which is amazing. I'm not knocking any of it. And if you've got time, that is absolutely incredible. But like we hear on the calls, we get paid for free things, new clients, new team members, duplicatable systems, helping people achieve their promotions and stuff like that. And those are obviously the backbones of the incentives that we've got running at the moment as well. So keep it simple and manageable and easy and duplicatable. Out of interest, who is starting a 90-day game plan tomorrow? Let me know in the comments, wave your hands. Yay! Oh, there's quite a few of us. Oh, I was a bit worried because it was so last minute. Normally when we've done these, we're like, you know, there's more planning and stuff. But you know what? Sometimes, you know, like those nights out that are unplanned and they're the best nights. Maybe that's going to be this 90-day game plan that we just sort of was like, oh, okay, let's go. And this is going to be the best one that we've ever had. It doesn't matter if you're not, or if you're newish and you're sort of like, I have no idea what they're talking about. What's a 90-day game plan? Don't panic. I shared in the group earlier today a video. It's like an Eric Worre video on sort of like, it's a really short one on what a 90-day game plan is. So you can go back and watch that if you haven't already. But in a nutshell, it really is a commitment to focusing on yourself and your goals and doing what you have committed to every single day for 90 days. And the big thing here that I find not interesting but hard, it's regardless of what is going on around you. That is it. That is when we're going to see results in our business. Okay, I'm not ruthless. Obviously, I totally understand there's, you know, extreme circumstances where we might be unable to do these things. That's irrelevant. You know, your child might be ill, you know, whatever it is. But other than those extreme circumstances, you have to be committed to the 90 days and saying, I'm ticking everything off my list for the next 90 days, regardless of what's going on around you. Life happens, unfortunately. We're all very aware of that. Comes and smacks you in the face when you least expect it. The unexpected things will happen. But when you will see good growth and results in your business is when you push on and you stay committed regardless of what's going on around you. And Claire's going to talk more about that in a little while, and keeping your blinkers on and staying focused. So really I'm just going to cover the real basics of what you want to be doing if you're going for a 90-day game plan tomorrow. So firstly, think about what it is you actually want to achieve in 90 days. What are your goals? Could be personal business goals, just some ideas, you know, like say if you're a partner plus or a senior partner, your goal might be that you want to reach sales coordinator in 90 days. If your pay line finished in January on £1,000, you might set a goal that you want it to be at 5,000 or 50,000 if you're Claire Black in 90 days. But you know what it means. It could be that you just want to really start hitting your PB and your POB consistently. It might be that you want to qualify for stage 1 of the Rio incentive or be halfway to qualifying. And then something that really helps is attaching something meaningful to your goal. Why do you want to achieve that? Why do you want to be a sales coordinator in 90 days? What's it going to do for you and your family? Why do you want to grow your pay line by $5,000 in the next 3 months? What's that going to do for you? And how is it really going to make you feel when you do achieve that? You know, it might be paying off credit cards, it might be booking a summer holiday, driving lessons, it might be that you want to reduce your hours at work, it might be that you want to help your family out financially, whatever it is. I'm so sorry, I need to sneeze. I really feel like I'm getting ill and it's so annoying, but I don't know if it's just because we've had the heating on and my room's like this little box room. I'm sorry, that's so strange, but yeah, I really feel like I need to sneeze. But whatever it is, yeah, whatever it is, have a clear why on why you are doing this, and a why that is bigger than any obstacle that gets in your way. You have to have something that you're so focused on. It doesn't matter what goes on during the day. It doesn't matter what happens. You're still going to get up and you're going to commit to do what you said you were going to do because your why is bigger than your excuses. Stage 2, after you've got your goals and you know your why, or stage 3 even, who knows, set your DMO. What tasks are you committing to as absolute non-negotiables? No matter what's going on, you're going to get them done 100%. I have done mine already. I've got my DMO ready. It's very recruitment focused. I'm happy to share it into the groups. It's nothing fancy. I've literally just sort of scribbled it down. Nothing. I'm normally like all laminated and fancy. This is literally just like, right, we haven't got time to mess around. It's there, it's ready to go. But it's also very basic, it's very simple, and it is not overwhelming. I'll send it to the group, that no problem. Because at the moment I can't deal with, you know, a lot of stuff. So I'm keeping it to the bare minimum, and I would rather have things on there that I know I'm going to be able to say, yeah, I've done that today, I completed everything on my list, rather than going to bed and you're feeling so stressed out like, oh my god, I've still not done 30 things. So I'm keeping it nice and simple. My goal with my DMO, as always, and my top tip for everyone, is to get it out of the way as early as possible, and then I'm going to aim to complete it as many times as possible. So if I'm having a really like stress-free day, which to be fair never happens, I'm joking, if you're having a really nice simple day, you might get to 12 o'clock or mid-afternoon and feel like I've done everything already, I've sent out my messages, I've added people, I've done this, I've done that. Then if you've got loads of time, go and do it again, why not? But keep it manageable, and then if you can, give it another try throughout the day. And that's why you'll always see me going live early and talking to my stories early. It's definitely a trick of the trade. I know I mention it all the time, but if you say to yourself, I'm going to do it later, it never happens. Kids gets in the way, life gets in the way. So get up, get it done out of the way as early as you can. Then next, straight off the school run, exactly. Do your 90-day grid. I wrote down I'm doing mine tonight, so I can tick it off each day, but I actually done it. I've done it because I was a little bit early. Again, it's so basic, it's really not fancy. Normally when we do our 90-day game plans, it's like, you know, all pretty and we've got these lovely grids and everything else, and this one is the most spontaneous, erratic, like, okay, all right, let's go, 90 days, why not? But I've got it here, I'm ready to go, and I do feel like, do you know what, I'm really ready for this right now. We've got these incredible incentives that we want to run with, and I'm really personally really ready for this, and it's always great when we do things together as a team. A couple of little random bits, you know, I'm big on this, but I would love you guys to go and write a letter to yourself this evening, as if you have achieved all of the goals that you set out to do. I know Nat loves this, I can see her typing. We've done this a lot, we do it a lot as a team, yeah. But I mean, we've got our annual ones, we've got what we want to achieve for the year, but I done this with, do you remember Susie Mitchell, Claire? You'll remember Susie Mitchell. Yeah, I done a little course thing with her, and she made us write a letter to ourselves, and she posted them to us on the day at the end of the 90 days. And it was like, I'd written to myself, congratulations, Sarah, you've hit SSC, you're going to, yeah, look, I remember that. I swear this on my children's lives. I told myself if I completed my 90-day game plan, I would go and buy myself these really fancy Valentino shoes that I wanted. And it just so happened it finished on my birthday. And when I was leaving the house to get in the taxi with Jamie to go shopping, the letter from Sue was on the floor, and I went live in the taxi and I was like, oh my god, look, here's my letter that I wrote to myself. And that's the 90-day game plan that I stuck to. So like, how crazy is that? So if you get a chance tonight, do it, because it really works. Put it away, hide it. Doesn't take long, definitely. Yeah, no, it really was. It was like crazy. It was like, oh my god, like, look, what's around? And we were literally driving to the shop. It was really crazy. But Claire's huge on manifesting and stuff like that, so I'm sure she'll tell you more about that. Yeah, but I've done it before. It works. So get your letters written and just hide it away somewhere, so you can read it at the end of your 90 days and sort of be really proud of what you've achieved. The game plans work. They're not always easy, but they are 100% worth it. So I want to know who is really serious about wanting this year. Who's really serious about wanting to hit NMD this year, or your next promotion this year? Who's really serious about going to Thailand and Rio in 2025? Shout it out. I want to see some shout outs in the comments. Who's serious? Who's serious? Now, I will tell you, hand on my heart, if you are deadly serious and you want to go for them incentives and those them huge goals, these 90-day game plans will be what is going to get you there. And like I said, so many people said about Lisbon, the amount of messages that I had from people saying, I'm fed up of watching, next time I'm coming. That's what people were messaging me. And if that was you, and you were one of those people who sat watching and thought, sod this, I'm not sitting back next time, I'm not going to be at home when they're in Thailand watching them. If that is you, then you need to get on this 90-day game plan and go and smash it. And the only thing stopping you is you. So little recap: goals, why, DMO, letter to yourself, do your grid, get an early night. Tomorrow we go full steam ahead. And on that note, I'm handing over to our beautiful Claire Black.
Amazing. I love that. I feel like because I'm in the house, like I don't normally do calls in the house. I don't feel like I can't be that loud, but I'm very excited. Thank you for that. I just wrote a couple of little notes actually. When you were saying, you know, you wrote your 90-day game plan down, it was just spontaneous. It's like, yeah, whatever, I'm just gonna, not yeah, whatever, I'm gonna do this. actually, I think going into this really relaxed and not, I mean, we need to have a little bit of urgency with what we want, but when you really stress about it, you end up blocking yourself from stuff. So just being like, right, I'm fucking ready for the 90 days. Let's have it. Like, let's see what happens. When you have a bit more of a relaxed mindset around it, everything flows so much nicer. So bless you. So really think about that. Think about how you approach your business. It's really important. When you're thinking about business, are you always stressed out about it? Are you always worried about it? Because if you are, you're constantly going to be shutting yourself off. When you look for, okay, so it's not working for me right now, but what is this trying to teach me? What should I be doing? What haven't I been doing? When you come at it from a different attitude and a different perspective, you allow stuff to flow, and it's so important. So sorry, I just wanted to add that in. I've written some notes, which are I'm going to do those bits at the end. But so for those who saw the WhatsApp that was forwarded from John, he had some little bullet points like kill distractions, focus on DMO, set yourself up for success, keep blinkers on, create momentum, stay plugged in, consistently build. And I'm just going to kind of digress on each of those because I think it's really important. So the kill, actually, I'm going to start with the DMO because we were talking about DMO. So exactly what Sarah was saying. I personally would much rather myself and my team do 3 things really fucking well than try and do 30 and not manage to do any of them. Because when you spread yourself so thin, like become an absolute master at maybe 3 or 4 things of your DMO, and they're like the things that you just will not do. Does that make sense? Like, if you can do that, or else you'll end up being like, fuck, I haven't done this, oh, I haven't done this, oh my God. Or you'll do just maybe 5% of each of those 30. Like if you do 100% of like 4 or 5, maybe, definitely more than 3 actually. Like adding people, posting, I think birthdays is a really good one, messaging about business, following the plan and keeping up with your customers and stuff, like they would be making sure you're on the plan. They are, like for me, like non-negotiables, really important. I'm actually just reading a book which I'm not going to share what it is because it's not relevant to network marketing at all. It's just for a part of my job that I'm doing. However, I took something away from it. It's about scaling small businesses, but it's coming from a different angle. So it really isn't anything to do with network marketing. So there's no point telling you what it's called. But in the part of social media, what he's saying in there is social media, like you shouldn't be spending all your time on social media making things pretty and posts and stuff. Your main goal is to connect and speak to people. So it's like a telesales book basically. But you need to be actually physically speaking to people. You can't just wait for people to come and see you. You need to be getting to speak to people. And so the way I flipped it around for Produce Plus is, yes, we need to be putting posts out. So we've kind of opened our shop, but look at what we do. We're network marketers. If you're just posting, that's not networking. Networking is talking to people. Don't be afraid to pick up a voice note. Don't be afraid to message people. Like, I think we really block ourselves off when we're like, oh God, I don't want to send that message. Fuck it, just send it. No one's going to die. Do you know what I mean? Like, really, the more you get used to just being, this is a human being, we're all humans, like stop making people feel like they're scary. Does that make sense? So really look at, social media shouldn't be taking up all of your time, but speaking to people should be. So maybe have a look at how much time are you spending scrolling, and I know we need to like and comment on stuff, but what about actually speaking to people? Even if it's not about business and not about products, but building those relationships, that's super important. So the DMO, I've always said it's better to have a smaller list that you do well than a big one that done badly. What things can you consistently stick to? So maybe pick 4 to 5 things that you know is going to build your business. Adding people is just a huge must. Like I actually do secretly go through my team's profiles and I'm like, they're getting the same amount of people liking on it. I know they're not adding people and they're the ones that are like, oh, no one really wants to buy it. But adding people is super, super important. So if you're not doing that, you really, really need to make sure that is top of your DMO. So yeah, just make sure you've focus on your DMO, make that, as Sarah said, like try and get it done at the beginning of the day. And if you can repeat it, something that's duplicatable and repeatable. So if you've got 30 things to do, you can't do that twice in a day. But if you've got 4 or 5 things that are really, really powerful and are going to work, you could probably get that done maybe 3 times during the day on a good day. Kill distractions. So work out what your triggers are, right? So for me, sometimes I kid myself. I'm like, right, I'm going to go upstairs and do a bit of work. I'm just going to put Netflix on in the background, and then Netflix becomes the foreground and my work becomes the background. So I know that that now. And although I still get my networking done, now I've got the 90-day game plan. I know that that's a trigger for me. So I am not going to do that. I'm going to take myself, I can't work from bed either. Sometimes I'll say, oh, I'm just going to go up and I'll do some bits in bed before I go to sleep. I get into bed and I want to go to sleep. So I'm going to sit down here. So what are your triggers? Also, who needs to know about your plans? Because your family can be triggers as well. Like, make sure they know what you're doing. Why are you doing this? Are you doing, like, let them know you're doing a 90-day game plan. These are the times I want to work. Again, absolutely, I 100% do not want to be working 24/7. If I could get stuff done within 2 hours, even if it's a half an hour block in the morning, 45-minute lunchtime, couple of hours in it, whatever, work out your times that you consistently work well, and just stick to that. It doesn't have to be 6 or 7 hours a day. And this should be fun. Like, we need to be working smart and not hard. And that comes down to how much time you're going to put in, because you'll end up resenting it and you'll feel like you're not getting anywhere. So really look at what is happening. This is great to do on the cusp of whenever you start. What is happening in your business right now? And look at it and be very honest with it. Okay, so what is not happening? How are we going to bridge that gap? What do you need to stop doing? So for me, it's definitely Netflix is a no-no, because I get sucked into it. But it's also, I've got a bit of a bad habit where I go to start something and then I'll start my power out and I'm just going to change the washing over. I'm just going to unload the dishwasher. I'm just going to do this whilst Willow's asleep. No, if you're going to work in an hour, fucking work in that hour. Make sure you're organized around that time, because it's really, really important. Set yourself up for success was another bullet point. And how I look at this is, setting yourself up for success is, we've got all the tools, we know the products, we know the business, we know the power hours. If you are getting on these calls and you're doing all this stuff, but you don't believe you can do this, you might as well just stop. Like, you absolutely have to set your mind up for success. And this is where blockages come in, because if you've got a niggling thing in your head, I'm going to do this, but what if I don't do it? Like, failure is not an option. You are going to do this if you believe that you're going to do this. So affirmations are so powerful, and I know they feel really, really weird at first, but I promise you, the more you use affirmations, the better. So it could be something really simple like, I'm a recruiting machine. And you might not be one, and it might take a little while, but the more you repeat it, like, our brain's very black and white. What we say is what happens. So more often than not, we have these affirmations that we unknowingly talk about, like, oh, for God's sake, like, my fucking pay line's constantly dropping, like flipping comments. That then manifests. So what do you want to manifest? Make an affirmation around that. I'm a recruiting machine. Customers are always coming into my business. My team are building so quickly. Like, I've got the fastest growing team in the UK. Whatever it is you want, write an affirmation about it. And I'm not going to give you any on here, because everyone's goals are going to be completely different. But think about what you want for the next 90 days and just write I am or I have. You have to be, don't do I will be, because I will is saying you haven't got it yet. And that's a really, really bad way to do it, because you will constantly be in that limbo of not manifesting. So make sure it's I am or I have. Keep your blinkers on, super important. Again, it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing, it really matters just what you're doing, and you really have to make sure that you are the focus of this. So it's really easy to get distracted, and it's great when we share other people's successes, but when you get that little bit of comparinitis, like, oh my God, they're so much better than me, or how are they doing that? Like, you take yourself off track. Just consistently focus on what it is you want and what you're going to do. And one of my favorite quotes ever is, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. So really, really important to remember that. It's really good if you talk the talk, but if you're not walking the walk with it, it will show in that 90 days, right? It's all very well and good if you're saying, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, but at home you're not doing it, because we'll see that there's no promotions. You'll see that there's no promotions, or whatever it is you're going for. So really important to keep those blinkers on. Create momentum. So I would say with this one, really think about where, like, your own personal goal, create momentum of where you're headed, right? So build the hype around it. Tell people why you are doing this for the next 90 days, what it is you want to achieve, and really think about the pains that you're solving for yourself and share it, because that's what's relatable. So maybe you want to, the end of the 90 days, I don't know, whatever. I feel like when we share on social media what positions we're going for, people don't give a shit because they don't know what the positions are. So what does that position mean to you? Sarah said it earlier. What will you be able to do with that money, that time, that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of, oh my God, I've achieved something. Like, share that to build the hype. This is what I'm doing. And then people are like, actually, you know, I want to feel like that. Or, oh my God, I'd love to be able to take my kids to Disneyland. Or, you know, in 3 months' time, where are we? February, March, April, May, we'll have a Maybank holiday. Maybe you're going to go and do something. Maybe you want to take the kids away for a week. Or, I don't know, maybe you want to buy a new car, or whatever it is. Share that, because people will really relate to that. And I promise you, at the point in your business, I think really anywhere, and I'm not disregarding anyone from QNMD above, but up to QNMD, you're at your most relatable point. When you start going into, when I got IMD and it was like I got £14,000 bonus and stuff like that, that doesn't compute. And when I first joined, Sinead was like, I earned 15 grand this month. I was like, yeah, all right, love, just want to earn the next 200 quid. I couldn't get that into my head. So what you are sharing right now, no matter how small it is, like, I would see people before I joined the business, right, getting their nails done, and I could never afford to go and get my nails done. I'd get them done for a wedding and I'd have to take them off. Like, this is really bad. I have to get my nails done tomorrow because I broke 2 this weekend. I can afford to get them done now. But that to me was one of my biggest goals. I want to be able to just get my nails done and keep having them done. People out there need that, and I needed that before I joined this business. So you might think your little goals mean nothing, but they really do. So build hype around that, because it's really, really relatable, and that's how momentum works. And then as you're going along the 90 days, you can be like, oh my God, I'm nearly there, like I'm halfway there, I'm fucking buzzing. And people will be like, oh my God, she's going to be going on holiday soon, or oh my God, she's going to get this, or, you know, invite them in on the journey, and then you can share how they can do it as well. And when you keep it simple and sharing it like that, honestly, it brings so many more people in. Stay plugged in. So this is really important. Feel the fire and be surrounded by doers. This is what I put for this. And I think it's, you know, we've all gone through stages where sometimes I can't be fucked to get on a Zoom call. I'm not going to lie. I messaged Sarah tonight. I was like, let's keep this to half an hour. I'm really tired. Well, got a little bit of hangover, right? I love you girls. Like, literally really love you girls, but I could do with being in bed right now. Now I'm on it. I love it. I don't want to get off, and I'm buzzing. Like, I'm being really honest with you. Sometimes I don't want to get on a Zoom call, but actually I feel good when I've been on a Zoom call, because I'm with other people who quite possibly don't want to be on a Zoom call either, but we're in it together and we always come off buzzed. I'm feeling that fire. Like, if you imagine you're out, I can't think who used this analogy, whether it was at a conference, but you're out, you're sitting around a campfire and you start to get cold. You don't start taking steps back, you go closer to that fire. And that's like the business, right? When you feel like, oh, I'm not really feeling this right now, you're getting a little bit cold about it, you're not feeling things, you need to move forward. You need to move forward with people. And actually, the same as, like, there might be people in there who are feeling the same as you, but when you link together, there's so much more power in it, so much power in numbers. So stay plugged in, get on those calls. And I hold my hands up, I don't get on every single call. Like, I have way too many children for my liking right now, and I'm definitely really busy. And I physically can't, like, doing football clubs and whatnot, I can't get on all of them. However, I do make sure I get on minimum two a week. Do what works for you and invest. When you come off that call, do something with it. I do sometimes get lots of people who get on every single call gabbing and that their business just still hasn't grown. It's because they think that getting on a call is working. It's what you do once you get off the call that's working, and that's really important. So again, like the DMO, it's better to get on less calls and do something with it than stretch yourself out. So I might be wrong saying that, but that's just my personal opinion. But if you want to get on all the calls, that's great, but make sure you work after. Thanks. Consistently build. Oh, and just be surrounded by people who are doing it. Like, honestly, it will just rub off on you when you are with people who are like, I believe in you, or, you know, they're sharing things. Like, I'm sure Sarah has said so many things since we've been doing these calls that my team are like, yeah, I fucking love that. And I'm like, I've been saying this for 9 years, bitches. Why is no one listening to me, right? But vice versa, this is the same. Oh, thank you so much. I sell these, by the way. It's my little brand, one of my little things. I'll pop a link in the group later. But when we get on these calls and when we're with other people, we're all saying the same stuff, because there's no secret to this. Like, it's being consistent, it's loving the product, it's sharing the business, but you might hear it in a different way. And that's what's important when you hang around and you mix with lots of different people. So don't keep this to yourself. Don't try and work on your own. Really, 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 honestly, that's probably one of my biggest tips. Make sure you are getting involved with a lot of other people within your business. Consistently build. So even if you don't see the results straight away, because you won't, look, you're not going to put a few posts out and talk to a few people and be NMD tomorrow. Let's be real. No matter how much you try and manifest that, absolutely don't think that's going to happen. But when you have a system that you can repeat and you can duplicate and you can keep doing over and over and over, just keep doing it. Trust that process and consistently build. The thing I think what a lot of people find, actually, Natalie's just said, is when we get impatient, we're like, oh, this ain't fucking working, I'm not going to bother doing this anymore. But actually, you might have just been on the cusp of when the breakthrough happens. Like, see it out the 90 days, unless it's something like, you know, for the last 4 weeks you've been putting like your before and after photos out or whatever it is, and you are getting no likes or no whatever, then maybe look at what we still need to post that content, but maybe look at how you're posting it. But just keep going and trusting that process. And if you like, I just wrote a little extra note, like if you want to go for Rio, you absolutely need to build a team. And I personally feel like we all know how to sell a product, and I don't know why we're so more scared to try and sell a business than we are a product. And I feel like, because sometimes when we're at a position where we're like, well, I'm not winning in the business right now, so how can I offer it to someone else? But you need to offer it to someone else so you can win in the business. So it's really important to remember that. But you really have to build a team to do that. So stop being scared of it. Look at when you're offering people the business, like you're offering them a lifeline. Like, this is life changing. If you were on the Saturday morning success call yesterday, I was just like, I can't remember the girl's name. She lived in Fuerteventura, and she literally had no money. They lost their businesses in COVID. They couldn't afford to eat. And she was one of them people who's like, I just wouldn't do network marketing. And this absolutely changed her life. Like, there will be people out there who need this. And the more people we can speak to, the more people we can relate to. Oh, that's it. Thank you, Han. The more people we can speak to and share that with, the better. So just my biggest thing is, and you know, right, when you go on, when you start messaging people, once you've done the first couple, you're like, God, why have I been putting this off? Because I'm the same. Like, just so you know, like recruiting people, I get a little bit, what if they say no? Like, but you know what if they say yes? Like, flip it around. Like, so many good things happen on the other side of fear. If somebody says no, it's not a no to you, it's just a no to the opportunity right now. And it's never a no forever, because you never know, that it could be the next Kerry. She might have a high flying business and then boom, the business is gone. Or maybe she's fallen pregnant or just had a baby and is planning to go back to work, but now she's had the baby, she doesn't want to go back to work. She needs something that can work alongside it. Like, you just never know. So really get your recruitment head on for this. Obviously, the 90-day game plan we can apply to customers as well, because we need them to build the business. But really look at telling yourself how amazing you are at recruiting. And this isn't about, you're helping people by sharing it. And if people like say no right now, that's not a no forever. You just keep going on to the next one. And that was really it. I really love those little points. I think keep it simple, keep it duplicatable, keep it something that it's not going to stress you out, because when you're stressed, nothing good comes from that. You'll block yourself off. You end up resenting the business. You're like, I'm fucking working all the hours God sends and I'm not getting anything. It's because your energy isn't right. When you do something that's actually quite a simple, easy process, and you know, you can break it down. You could even choose, like, actually on a Monday, these are the 4 parts of my DMO I'm going to concentrate on. On a Tuesday, I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to do 2 of those from Monday, but I'm going to swap another 2. Like, you can still get lots of things done. Actually, sorry, you said at the beginning as well, and I know we said it on the other call. I'm a massive believer in mastering one platform. Like, I love Instagram, I do use it, but for me, Facebook is king. If Instagram's your thing, get really fucking good at it on there before you move on to another platform. Don't spread yourself too thin, because that's where I got really overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, I haven't put a story out. Now I need to do it. Now, like, I don't want to, and I ended up not wanting to do anything because I felt like I was just really being really unauthentic with it and just putting stuff out for the sake of it. So find what platform it is. If you're good at balancing 2 platforms or 3, amazing. But if you're not, just focus on what you're really good at and get even better at it. That's what I would say. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. My loves for tonight, I think, from me. It's 9:05. I hope that helped you. Definitely get those letters done. That's so important. And I actually do something called a magical day diary. I'm actually not very consistent with it, but when I was doing it, basically I used to do it the night before, and I'd just write as if I was writing the end of the day tomorrow. And I'd be like, oh my God, I just had the most amazing day today. My meeting went really well. The kids just didn't argue once, which was amazing. So I was so less stress-free. And I would detail, only about a page. I had a big A4 book. It's by my bed, actually. I'm going to get that out tonight. But it's really weird. I would pinpoint stuff, and all this stuff would happen because I'd read it before going to bed. And then I'm like, that's it. That's just how my day's going to work out tomorrow. And I'd call it a magical day. And then the next day, because I trusted it and I just let it go, and like, that's how my day's working, it's going to go about. And all these little things started happening. And that's the same with the power of these letters. Like when you write things out, you're putting it out there. When the only thing that stops is when you have that niggling thing and you think about circumstances. Circumstances don't matter when it comes to manifesting, I promise you. When you think about it, it does, because it comes a blockage. But when you have a faith, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but something is going to move for me. Something is going to come my way. And I'm just going to trust in that. And when things do go wrong and you kind of go a little bit off track, just be like, you know, it's cool. It's just where I'm supposed to be right now, because this is going to teach me something cool. This is going to take me to where I want to be. I'm just on a little bit of a detour. Like, stop stressing out about stuff. Like, things will happen. It's never plain sailing. I actually said to one of my team in a voice note the other day, like, when you look at a life support machine, when the line is flat like that, you're dead. When the signs of life are up and down, and that's what we need to be like thinking about. Like, it's never going to be that smooth like line going up. It's always going to be up and down, but those ups and the down bits teach us so much. And when you become more focused on what they're trying to teach you instead of looking at the end part that you want to get to, that's where the magic happens. We focus a lot on the end result, which is great to have a vision, but when it seems so far away, that's when we start going, oh yeah, but that's not going to happen, or so-and-so needs to do it. Like, stop doing that, focus on where you are. And exactly, the journey is like the most important part, absolutely, or the journey now. But yeah, I feel like I could go on that all night, but let's stop that there.
Amazing, thank you, Claire. See how excited you got. You wanted half an hour and now you're like blah, 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 blah. Okay, I wanted to go to bed 5 minutes ago. I'm knackered. I'm joking. No, absolutely. No, honestly, absolutely loved it. And I really, just what you touched on there at the end about, you know, like your life taking you on a detour, and it not necessarily being the path that you would have chosen or where you thought you would end up or what you thought your life would be like, or it could be totally unexpected circumstances. I think we all go through those things, and I think we can all relate to that so much. And especially about there being these ups and downs. And I think, you know, as shitty as the downs are, not even sorry for swearing, but as shitty as they are, you know, we all go through really shitty and horrific times. But it's hard when you're in a shitty time, don't get me wrong, to sit there and think this is going to make me so strong, or is it, you know, it's not necessarily how you feel when you're going through something horrible, but those are the times when you are building your strength and you're building your resilience. And, you know, that saying that I'm obsessed with at the moment, which is your mess is going to become your message, which means that all the things that you are going through, the amount of people that you're going to be able to help when you come out the other side, because you've overcome these challenges and you've been through this, and so you can help and support other people that have been through those situations. Sorry, it's such a bit of a detour from our 90-day game plan.
I just want to add on to, I think it's really important though.
Look, we're not going to stop now.
I just want to add on, there was a really good quote that I saw, and it always keeps me going, and you can apply it to anything really, but it says, if you're going through hell, keep going. Why would you want to stop there? And it's like, no matter how hard it is, and there will be times when you're like, fucking hell, use this as a, well, I'm not applying that to the business, but use this as a distraction to push you forward. Like, we have an amazing community of supportive people. Like, no matter what I was going through some really, really tough times with my dad when he was like 13. He was being groomed for that county lines drug thing, and it was awful. And I tell you, Emma Snedden was just, she'd message me all the time, how are you getting on with it? Like, never about business, but I just had a really good friend in her, and she was always checking in on me. And I know so many people have gone through so many different things. It's stuff that I wouldn't share on my social media, but just, we've got a community there to pull you through that tough time. So really think about that as well. But I would love, I think we should have a little call on mindset, or maybe I'll do a live video or something into a training group or something that you guys can watch back, because I just believe, if anything, you know, the products and the business is 10% of what we do. Like, you need to understand that you can do this. Anybody can do this when they believe they can do it. And I've seen it with my own eyes, you know. And it's really important when you're coming on the cusp of a 90-day game plan. Like, if you're starting it going, oh, well, I'll give it a go, you know, I don't know where I'm going to get. Well, that's how it's going to go. It's going to be like, oh, it's going to be a bit wishy-washy. Like, when you are dead cert that this is going to happen, it fucking has to, because it's the law of assumption, it's the law of attraction. There's like you can't, not everything we do manifests, basically. So when you are in negative and blocking mindset, that's why you'll get to certain points and you won't be able to get any further, because there's something internal there. You've got to let stuff go, and you've got to really remember, and it was putting the blinkers on, isn't it? So yeah, I think maybe it'd be really good actually, if rather than me just ramble on, maybe if you've got any questions on mindset, like things that are blocking you, and then I can do a call answering those questions, and I could do it live or something, and you guys can watch it back, or anything you want to know about, like working on your mindset, or spiritual shit, 'cause I'm quite good at that.
Yeah. Claire, I think that would be really amazing. I'm going to pop you a message after the call, because I think if we can, I know you're really busy and obviously just, you've got this other work thing going on as well, but I think if we could get that booked in at some point this week, I know everyone's going a bit wild in the chat for that, but I think, like you said, on the cusp of starting a 90-day game plan, and we know how important the mindset is part of that, it is 90% in your mind, I think definitely we'll get that booked in. Hopefully this week, if not next week, because I think I definitely need that, and everyone needs that, and we would be so grateful.
Yeah, amazing. Of course.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realise whoever it was that said that about my t-shirt. This is really cool. I'm blessed, not stressed. It's really important. Don't get stressed out about your business. Think about what a blessing it is. Like this, go and bless people with this business. Go and bless people with our products. And you can do that really easily when you don't force it. Just share you being blessed by it. And the being stressed, I know it's inevitable, like we all get stressed over things, but nothing good comes from that, and you just put a massive block in your way of where you want to go when you're stressed. So really trying to understand and diffuse where you're going or why you're stressed, reframing it, thinking, right, how am I going to look at this, because this way is going to keep me stuck, or this way is going to you have to let some shit go. So it's a great reminder. I love things like that. That's why I created the t-shirt. So yeah, just want to share that with you.
Love it. Drop the link in, Claire, because we definitely want some of those. Girls, I just had a couple of little last minute things that I'm going to run through, like really random sort of side notey stuff. So we have got the new call schedule that I posted for everybody. That's just because a few people were asking. Like Claire said, you don't feel like you have to get on every call. It's just sometimes you might be sitting there, you might be thinking, actually, I need a call to get on. I need a bit of inspiration, so I need a bit of motivation. And also you can pick out your favourite ones of the week, like Claire said, and those are sort of like your non-negotiables. The new recruitment posts group, it's obviously something really new we've just set up, but let's all be contributing to that and all be flooding it, because it's going to benefit everyone as a team.
Sorry, just on that group, Han,
yeah.
Is it possible to make it visible? Because I was trying to share it into my WhatsApp group, and it can't be shared. I can't share. I can't do an invite link. I've got to go individually, and
maybe that's where we've been getting issues, because I've been making them non-visible, and then people were trying to have themselves in, and it weren't. I'm the least technical person you will ever meet, but I'll do it. Text me when we go.
Maybe if we just make it visible for like 48 hours, and then you can just make it invisible again, and then once everyone's in, then we've got it. Yeah, cool. Sorry, trying to interrupt.
No worries, that's fun. No, don't be silly. Just message me straight after, and I'll do it, because I'll read this list and then completely forget what you asked me to do by the time I get to the end. We've also obviously got the newish opportunity group. Again, the same applies to that. Fill it up. We've had our little break for sort of month end, but really push yourself this week. Like, go and be booking in those one-to-one interviews. Like, Natalie, message Claire and say, I'd love to do a one-to-one interview with you in that group this week. Lucy, do it with Aisha. Like, buddy up, get in there, get them interviews going, because like Claire said, it's not about, I've earned 30 grand in the business. It's really about, do you know what? I've been on this sobriety journey, like for Lucy, I'm not sure you won't mind me saying that she shares it all the time, or actually, I've done this and it's enabled me to do this with my children, or whatever it is. And then when you're inviting people to the group, you're going to have so much content in there that you're going to be able to tag them in. So it's really important that we all get on that, including myself. I'm doing a call for Harriet tomorrow, so I'm then going to pester her to do one in our group as well this week too, so up and coming. We've got the Running for Rio group up and running. Claire, I'm going to message you about that as well. Again, I just done it yesterday. But what they said, they're going to send us the numbers for January, so sort of like a report for what points everyone ended on for January, so we sort of know our starting point, and we now know how to track it moving forward. So in that group, we can then post in there, not public group, no, because I think it's more for us, it's not really for potentials, but like I said, if it's the visibility problems, we can I'm not. I think they'll just sort of be sending it to uplines now, as far as I know. So they'll probably just send it to me or whatever, or whatever your upline is, or you can request it as well. As far as I know, I'm not 100%. But point being, we'll have our starting points, and then in the group we can say, "Oh my god, I've just hit my PB, 4 points." So now we know what we're on, or I just hit my PB, 6 points in the bag, or my front line just got a promotion, that's 6 points. So we can really get it like fired up. That's what the group is for. We want to be running for Rio. We'll get a leaderboard up and running and really focus on that. Healthy competition is fun, keeps us motivated, and really keeps us on track as well. Randomly I decided I'm going to be starting a shred 10 on the 15th of March. Just wanted to start it then. It's next Wednesday because obviously Valentine's out the way and people might be eating chocolates and all of that for Valentine's. We didn't do very well with setting up our February campaign this month, which is my fault. We were very behind. We had a very busy month, wasn't very organised. So I thought if we do this shred 10 in the middle of the month, we've got 7 days that we can advertise it, get people on board and use it sort of as a mini campaign. So I'll be getting that content ready on Wednesday and out for everyone. And it also means we can get some fresh new personal results to share in time for month end. So just good luck to everyone. Let's make this another incredible month. Really dig deep. We've had our little rest. Get a good night's sleep, get off the call. I'm going to quickly write my letter when I get off here because I haven't done it yet, and I think it's going to be a nice way to end my evening. Make sure you've got your DMO and stuff set so you're ready to go from the morning. Don't make it overwhelming, make it achievable. But if you really want to make this your year and you really want to make it your NMD year, you really want to make it your Thailand and Rio year, the only person stopping you is you. The only person stopping me is me. I can't get to the end of this year and say, I didn't qualify for Rio because of this and because of this person and because of that person and because of my upline and because of this. It doesn't work like that. If I don't qualify for Thailand by the end of this year, I've got to look myself in the mirror and say, you didn't do it, babe. Could have worked a bit harder and you didn't. Shouldn't have gone out those weekends. Do you know what I mean? It's not saying don't have no life, but you're the only person stopping you from achieving your goals this year. And I really just want to end the call because obviously the money and the promotions and the incentives are incredible, but we know the best part about achieving that or achieving that next step or that next promotion is how you are going to feel when you walk out on stage as a national marketing director. Who does that give goosebumps to? Who's seen that or seen the videos? Yes, see, that's what it's about. That's the magic little flipping thing, isn't it? Literally. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine yourself. Do it quickly, entertain me. 1 more minute and we're off, I promise. I want you to close your eyes and imagine that it's the autumn convention. It's October. You are there. You have got all of your amazing team with you. You've got your loved ones with you. Maybe your kids are there, or your nan's there, or your mum's there, or your partner's there, the people that you really want to make proud. And then you have got Nikki Downham or Ernesto up on stage and they say, welcome, newest National Marketing Director, Natalie Widdop, Lucy Taylor, Claire Black Sara Mouhoun. No, I'm not picking anyone. These are just the people at the top of my screen. But honestly, girls, that's the feeling I want you to go to bed with tonight and really feel that deep down inside of you. The money is amazing, the incentives are amazing, but there is nothing like that feeling of accomplishment.
I just had a little thought. Why don't you write your thank you speeches for when you get an NMD? Who are you going to thank? What are you going to do? What are you going to say when you're on stage? When I had mine, right, this is before they used to do the videos and stuff, I didn't realise they were going to recognise us because I was really quite new and I'd only done a couple of conventions. And they called us up, but I didn't get in. We went out, they used to do the parties on the Friday night and then the convention on the Saturday, and we didn't get in until like 6:30 in the morning. And there was only 6 of us through the whole year that had done it. And I thought, they're not going to ask everyone to it. And they came up to me, my hands are like this. And it wasn't where I was nervous. It was where I was like, oh my God, I haven't slept. I feel like I'm going to throw up. It was awful. And I vowed never, ever to do that again. And then my IMD recognition was really heavily pregnant. And I didn't get to go to the convention because I was worried about getting COVID. So I've never actually done it. So I'm going to write one. So yeah, I need to get one done. So that might be a really nice idea. Well, how are you going to feel when you get your promotion, even if it's not the NMD one, like for the next 90 days? Maybe think about your little post that you're going to put on Facebook about you achieving your goals. Like, how amazing is that going to be? It's the same, I suppose, the letter, but yeah, think about that, how you're going to share it with everybody. It'd be quite nice.
Yeah, definitely. It literally gives me goosebumps. It really, really does. So just a huge good luck to everybody. Like, we're all in this together. We've got an amazing team. Claire, thank you, because I love working alongside you, and I feel like this collaboration, like as our teams together, yeah, it's just going to be so powerful for all of us working together and bringing something new and fresh to both of our teams. So yeah, really, really excited. And tomorrow is day 1 of 90. Good luck, everyone. Let's go smash it and see what we can pull out the bag in the next 90 days. Good luck, my darling.
Yes. Love you, girls.
Good night.
Bye.